And now, from North Platte High School, Studio B, welcome to Bulldog Banter, where we explore the endless possibilities that education brings. This episode brought to you by the NPHS Foundation and the Flower Market.
Hello, everybody. I'm Madi Hildebrand.
I'm Reagan Lampy.
And this is the podcast where we talk about everything North Platte.
And do fun stuff.
Today we have our principal, Mr. Spotanski.
It's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, that's the first thing we want to talk about. So everyone calls you something different.
We call you Spat.
But then there's like Spot and like there you have so many nicknames. So like what nickname do you prefer?
You know, I'll answer to just about anything. I mean, I've been called Spotanski, I've been called Spot, I've been called Spo, I've been called Spotan. I mean, just Mr. S. I mean, I've been called a lot of different things by either kids or that I've coached or students that we've had in the building. So, yeah.
Isn't it Spot on your license plate?
My wife, yeah, she has spots. Now, a funny story behind that. So, I've got a cousin that lives in Shelton, and his wife's license plate says Mrs. Spot. And my wife wanted that on hers, but it was unavailable. So, she's kind of made a joke that when that becomes available, she's going to snag that from the other Spotanski. But.
Wow. Yeah, that's funny. I like Spat.
Me too. That just makes the most sense, and we argue with everyone about it.
So it's actually a thing?
Yeah.
Well, we've made it a thing. We've also heard Spanx. Spanx. I don't get that one.
There's one kid in school that calls me Mr. Spaghetti, and I call him Matador. So we've got kind of nicknames for each other. It's kind of great.
That's funny. Yeah, I like Spat. So you worked at a different high school before you came here, right?
I did.
Where was that at?
So a little bit about my journey. I started teaching and coaching in Lexington, Nebraska. Was a science teacher at the high school and coached softball. And then from that journey, I went over to COZAD, where I had an opportunity to be the assistant principal and AD. And I had a great mentor at Lexington High School, and Dave Gordon had a great mentor, actually, too, at COZAD, Mr. Beckenauer and Mr. Reglin. And then I was most recently at Elm Creek. So Lexington, 10 years, COZAD, 6 years, Elm Creek, 5 years, and I hope to be here for the rest of my career.
What was it like moving from those schools to here? Like, how's it different?
It was probably harder on my family than it was for me. You know, I'm kind of used to it, but, having children that are a part of moving, it's kind of like being in the military to some extent where, when you want to advance in your career, it's hard to always do that. There's a phrase in education that says it's hard to be a prophet in your own land type of thing. But, yeah, it's been probably a little bit easier for me, but for my children and my wife, it's been a little bit harder. As soon as you build relationships, which is really the business that we're in, we love people, and as soon as you get to know them, sometimes you're moving on to the next. But that's been the really cool thing about North Platte High School is that the welcoming nature of the kids and the welcoming nature of the staff and the way we really try to build people up. Hopefully, we can make this a place to really finish her career and raise our daughter in the final chapter of her high school career. So
yeah, that's wonderful. Is there like a specific reason you came to North Platte?
This is kind of an interesting story. I was ready to take the next step, so I was taking classes through Doane University to become a superintendent. And there was applications that I had out for those roles throughout the state, and this job kept popping up on Teaching Nebraska. And I just told my wife one day, I said, I've got everything filled out for North Platte. And she goes, for the superintendency? I said, nope. For the high school principal. I said, I think this could be a really cool challenge. It's a small community, basically, of people. It's about 1,400 people. And so my mom had an 80th birthday party in my hometown that day. We had a polka band and everything lined up for her. I pushed send on stuff, and everything happened pretty quickly. Within about a week's time, I was interviewed, offered a position, and we were really committed to being here. But there were so many things about it. Obviously, when I look at demographics, a very unique Western community, west central portion of the state. I love the rural part of Nebraska. Grew up in the rural part of Nebraska myself. I want that opportunity for my daughter as well. There was other things about the demographic changes. I was looking at the sustainable beef plant coming into town. That was a huge draw. Having worked in Lexington and having worked with a diverse population, there's a lot of really cool things that happen. Your reach as an educator or the experiences for students aren't just local any longer. They become not just regional, but they reach into around the world. So, having the opportunity to work with the great kids and staff that are here now, but also the prospect of seeing some of those things change and develop over time, that was a really cool piece about the North Platte position.
Yeah. So, like, compared to like your other schools and other places you've worked, like which has been your favorite?
Oh boy. So there are things that I've loved about every place that I've been at, but you don't always feel like you're a part of a family every place you are, especially in the role that you're in. But considering that I'm the high school principal at North Platte Public Schools, I feel like I'm a part of the family here. Like, I feel like we've got a great team. I feel like we've got great kids. I feel like it's a family dynamic. So, there are things that I learned along the way in every position I've been at and takeaways, but, I love where I'm at right now. I love the people. I love the kids. I mean, this has been pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it helps that we're a big school, but not too big, so everybody knows everybody.
Yep.
It's like right in the middle.
Yeah. Because Omaha schools,
Yeah.
everybody knows everybody. And Hershey schools are, schools like Hershey are, tiny.
Yeah, what I'm finding out is that there's a lot of kids that don't necessarily know other people's names, but they definitely know who that other person is. I also find it kind of interesting, too, that, when relationships exist or something like that, we'll say, well, hey, who are you talking to or whatever, and they'll say a first name, but they don't even know the person that they're talking to's last name. I always think that's kind of an interesting piece, too. But.
See, I know people based off of their face, but some of them I don't know their names.
I think I know almost everybody in our class, though.
In our
Wow.
class, yeah.
I think there's probably maybe 5 to 10 people in our class that I don't know their names.
That's crazy.
I know, when I have class with people, I know everybody in the class.
So in my entire high school growing up, it would have been about half the size of one class here. We had about 40 kids in each class growing up, and so it's kind of an interesting dynamic that all of those people in your class.
Yeah. And I feel like everyone going to Madison in 6th grade, that
Yeah,
helps. Because
it
then when you're
does.
in one school with everyone in your class,
Yeah.
it's like you get to see everyone.
I'm glad that we got the
Madison
Madison all of 6th grade.
To go back to a question you asked earlier, our daughter was going into 6th grade when we were making the move over here, and that was another key factor. One of the questions I'd actually asked at the interview was, what will this experience be like for my daughter? And they talked about how all the different elementaries would come together, and in my mind I was like, this is like shuffling a deck of cards where no one really knows anyone, on all the relationships that you had developed at one of the most trying times of your life can be reestablished with new people. So you can kind of reinvent yourself if you want. So
that
that's
was
kind of
my
cool.
favorite year because of that.
Me too.
I met so many new people. I didn't know anybody. I loved that year. 6th grade was the best.
Madison was the best.
Yeah. And it was perfect size school. Teachers were good, even though it was COVID year, but.
What? So you were there during COVID?
Yeah.
So, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you guys. Because your educational experience has been so much different than mine, but, how has life changed for you guys from, I guess, now 6th grade to where you're at now in high school? Have you noticed changes year to year about, your experiences besides, or since COVID?
Everything, I just feel like everything's become more strict, and there's things that you didn't really pay attention to before COVID that they're paying attention to now. Not just school, but I've noticed around Walmart used to close, that used to be open 24 hours, and now they close it all of a sudden because of COVID. So it's just random little things like that are changing, and it's kind of annoying.
I feel like the first year after COVID was so hard because then when we got placed back into school and everyone had to wear masks, and then they took away masks and then they brought them back, it was just a learning experience for everyone. But
and being able to have our computers constantly, I forget back in elementary school, we had carts that you would just take it out of and use it for the day or the class period. Same in 6th grade. We didn't have our computers in 6th grade all the time.
wait, we actually didn't.
No.
Oh, I didn't even know
We
that.
had carts outside. You don't remember that because it feels like we've had our computers with us forever. And I don't know, stuff like that.
When COVID first happened, it felt different, but now it's just starting to feel normal again.
Yeah. Right after, it felt like it was never going to feel normal again. I really thought COVID was going to go on forever.
Well, when it first came out, no one really knew much about it at all.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out how to educate kids and how to maintain, because again, life is about relationships and plugging in with people, and all of a sudden now we're isolated and we're just with the nuclear families that we have, and we don't have the opportunity to connect with other people very well. And how do we so Zoom was all the thing. Remember all that
Zoom
stuff?
was the thing.
Yeah, you had to get online and communicate via video conferencing and whatnot.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting to see how things have changed. And, even from a college perspective, if kids were graduating in that 2020 timeframe and their first year of college was all remote, it's just kind of an odd piece to think about. So I'm glad that you guys are where you're at. You get a chance to experience the things the way that you do.
Yeah, I feel like 6th grade was a good year for it to happen. Like, I would have hated for it to be like my senior year of high school or something.
That would have been so sad. I can't imagine being one of those
that was
kids
like
who had to
for my
graduate.
cousin. She had it her senior year. It was
That's
awful.
so sad.
I know.
Yeah. Graduations were held in July.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Well, and then
yeah.
it was like the years after, you could only have a certain amount of people come to your graduation.
Yeah.
Like
Or
that's
basketball
also
games
so
or
sad. Yeah.
volleyball games or
And we had like a whole year skipped because we didn't do like student section for 7th grade.
Oh, we didn't.
No.
Wow.
We only we weren't allowed to because of COVID. I know.
This was a crazy time.
I know.
But we made it through.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yes.
No, it's actually insane.
I can't believe we went through a pandemic.
A pandemic
When I
every
heard-
100 years.
When I heard about it, I never thought we would go into quarantine.
Well, and like when school got canceled at first, everyone was like so excited, and
And then it was awful.
no one was excited.
So I
after that.
actually had a group of sophomores from Elm Creek on a trip to the state capitol the day that all of this stuff kind of started happening. So there was a meeting there that day. So we would take the government students there to go visit. We'd sit in the unicameral, watch what they're doing. Well, we were talking to the senator from our area, I think Senator Merman, and when he walked out, normally he's a handshaker, and he just walked out of that meeting and kind of waved and walked down the hall. They had a big meeting, and heck, all this stuff started happening really hours after that. So
Yeah, it was crazy. We couldn't go back for a week, and then all of a sudden it was school's out.
yep.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So, how do you think this school year's been going so far? We're like, we're at midterm of first quarter already.
We are.
That's insane.
Yeah, 20 some days in. So
Oh my.
yeah,
So,
there's been some unique challenges. I think every year when you start, there's, routines, getting back into routines and helping kids and teachers both develop relationships in the classroom. So, we've had some disciplinary pieces, but there's certainly been a lot to celebrate. I'm really excited about the direction our staff is taking with regards to, this collaboration concept. I mean, you probably haven't felt it as students quite yet, but we're really working at a district level and through our buildings to develop what they call professional learning communities that are really based around collaboration. So I'm excited about how some of that work has taken shape with our teachers. But I think that the general tenor amongst our student body right now, it has been positive. The last several days have felt really, really good in the building. There was several days at the beginning that felt really stressful, and there were a lot of things happening in our building, but hopefully we were able to handle all of that to address issue number one, that we've really tried to keep all kids safe, all staff safe. So when things happen at a high level, we're trying to work with our kids and our families through those situations. And, as we get through this, first term, hopefully the feeling that kids have in our building is one of safety, and that they can become more than they ever thought possible. There's really opportunities for them to grow and develop and become great. So,
What do you think challenges are going to be for this year?
well, I haven't really identified a list of challenges that are out there, but galvanizing kids. So we're talking right now an awful lot. ACT is a big thing. That's one of our major ratings for our school. And so last year, you remember, junior class members were given some incentives. And so we're working on some new incentives for this school year. And so that's probably going to be one of the challenges, the buy-in from more kids to want to do well. Education is one of the coolest ways to change your journey. It doesn't really matter what your last name is, where you come from, what your hand has been dealt. Choice-driven decisions will allow you to become basically whatever you want. That's the great thing about living in our country and having this opportunity. But I think that's the biggest challenge, is getting kids and teachers on the same page that, we can focus our energy toward these things and really not only do well for our school, but do well for each other, and change that idea that our culture is built around growth and cultivation and nurturing. And like I said a couple of times, doing more than you ever thought possible. That's probably the biggest challenge, is getting that buy-in and changing the mentality of a few that's a possibility for them.
yeah. Well, last year when the incentives came out for the juniors, I was like, oh, that's so cool. I want to do that. So obviously it worked, because if everyone's like seeing that there's like a reward for doing good and trying your best, I feel like it's really helping everyone else try. Because then I would have been like, okay, then I want to get a 25 so I can leave for lunch.
Yes.
Like,
Well, and that's what we're talking about now is that as we have this platform called On to College that, we've invested in now for the last 2 years, but not many kids are completing the work on there. Now, last year, through Bulldog time, we had every kid that was a junior that was present exposed to it, and that certainly it helped. But right now, what we're trying to work on is how do we get every kid to not only listen to it during Bulldog time, but actually do the work on the platform in certain classes, and that will be, I think, a game changer. That one test unlocks so many doors for kids that you wouldn't even imagine. The 25 isn't just getting out of lunch; that's paying your tuition at several of the colleges in the state of Nebraska. I mean, think about that for a second. If you don't have to pay tuition for 4 years of undergrad work, that's at some places a $40,000 deal. And if you can work on other scholarships and maybe score a little bit better, you could be looking at the full boat of $80,000 to $100,000. That's a very good return on your investment, right? So that's what we're really trying. That's the paradigm and that mentality that we're trying to change a little bit. Is that you can do this. Anyone can do this. Just commit to it. Try hard. Do your best. Great things can happen.
Yeah, I feel like so many kids fail to see that there's rewards out of the test. Like, they think that they just have to take this hard test. It's long, but there's so many rewards that come from it.
No doubt. No doubt.
and I feel like the ACT used to be such a big deal to everyone. And then ever since COVID, everyone quit caring. And, stuff like MAPS testing, stuff like that, too.
Yeah.
Same thing.
But at least we've done MAPS testing. We know how to do standardized testing. Why don't we do those anymore?
Well, so the state quit supporting some of those platforms as a part of their through the year model of growth. And so just sheer budget, it was going to cost so much. So our investment has been on obviously maintaining that through, the elementary grades and eighth grade as a part of our NSCAS. But at the high school level, we're going to focus more on our common summative assessments, focus more on our common formative assessments, and really getting that data in-house to help drive our instruction, because learning will be, that's the focus. The focus is on learning, right? So how do we help do that? So MAP is kind of taking a backseat in our district and several others, and the ACT is the kind of gold standard that we're rated on, and we're going to really focus on what great teaching and learning strategies that we can do here with our kids through our teachers to impact that.
Yeah. Okay, so if you weren't a principal, what would you want to do as your job? Something fun.
Oh,
Dream
so
job.
I remember when I was sitting in college one day, and there was a magazine I was thumbing through, and in the back it said, "Want to be a private eye?" And so I cut that thing out and I sent it off, whatever. I was like, this would be kind of cool to just be a private investigator, just out there, kind of like a gumshoe. People would call you and say, "Hey, I need some help finding out information," almost like Dog the Bounty Hunter. But I think that would be kind of a fun gig. I was kind of making a joke the other day with my wife. I'm like, the stress level of certain things can sometimes get to you. I said, I wonder what it would be like to be a Schwann's driver, to just listen to tunes all day long and sell little wingies to people and allow them, everyone smiles when you're delivering an ice cream, right? So but no, I think, if I wasn't a principal, I loved teaching and coaching. I get a little hit on that every once in a while by stopping in a physical science classroom and working with Mr. Miller or Mr. Zudervern or, helping, direct a class on that. I love the impact that you can have. So, growing up, no one in my family had gone, in my nuclear family had gone to college prior to me. And so, I was influenced by an aunt that said, "I think you could be a really good teacher." She was a teacher at a country school, and so she'd give me all these science experiment things when I was a kid, and I just, as I started going through high school, I was like, "This is kind of cool." I had a buddy that is a teacher and coach at Malcolm, and him and I did this whole summer recreation program where we were the baseball, softball. We organized all of that for our community kids, and that was kind of unique. So I started to see then the impact that you can have. So, maybe being a lawyer would have been fun, like a defense lawyer, or being a surgeon, but I don't know that you'd have the same type of impact. So for me, that's what it came down to. How can I influence? And so when you think about I think about numbers a lot. So at Lexington, it kind of hit me hard. If you have 120 kids on your teaching roster every year, and say in a 10-year career like I had there, that's 1,200 kids that you were able to influence. Now that's just the kids you had in your classroom. That's not the kids that you coached through softball or track or one act and helping out with all of those things. And then to think about the worldwide reach of some of those folks that were from Guatemala or from the Sudan or from Nigeria or from, Mexico or from, El Salvador. I mean, the impact is now not just 1,200 kids. It's also parents and siblings and people in other, it's just, the reach of that. So while there might have been some fun things out there to do, I think that this is so much more rewarding for me than really anything else I could have selected.
Yeah, it's really cool.
What about you guys? Enough about me. I mean, I just think I'm talking my ear off. Where do you guys see yourself going? Like, what do you see yourselves doing?
Okay, so yesterday we went to the college fair, and we got all these pamphlets and stuff, and I was looking through the UNL one, and there's just so many options, and I just don't know what I want to do. But we were talking about this yesterday. There was one that was sports media and marketing, which is a lot of stuff we do for Willie. So, like, the hype videos and the filming and the player profiles and, like, making stuff like that. And we both really enjoy it. But, like, I don't know. There's just so many things to do and choices, and I don't know.
Out of the whole pamphlet, that was probably the only thing that I was actually interested in. So, I don't know. I'm also thinking about the Air Force. I don't know. So,
College is so stressful.
Yeah, but I think that we'd be really good at sports media. What was sports media and communication is what it was.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But same thing. But yeah, because the hype videos are so much fun. Like, I look forward to filming them and editing them, and it's a lot of fun.
Now, were you guys up here when the fire alarms went off? When you were doing the hype video for the volleyball team?
That was my fault. Okay, to be fair, we were in here, and I was like, Willie, we need this extension cord. And he's like, no, we don't. And I was like, yeah, we do. And then he's like, Colby, leave it. So she left the extension cord, and we went back to the gym. And I was like, okay, well, now I need an extension cord to put the fog machine in the middle of the gym. So I put it on manual, and I went to go get the extension cord, and I came back, and the whole gym is filled with smoke, and then the fire alarms went off. And then I couldn't find Willie, and I was freaking out.
Yeah, because she was in the gym, and all of us and Willie were, all the girls were in the locker room filming for the hype video, and all of a sudden the smoke alarms go off, and we're like, what did Reagan do?
I was the only one gone. They knew it was me. But also on the fog machine, the manual, it's like reversed. Like the manual button is, it's not my fault.
So essentially it's not our fault, yeah. We asked permission. Nobody can be mad at us. We asked permission.
So I get a call from Mr. Willie, and I had just woke up, and I was brushing my teeth, and he's like, a fire alarm's going off. I said, I know. I just got a call from Miss Coburn. So I'll be up in a minute. He goes, I'm so sorry.
He was so stressed.
So I walk in the gym, and I look, and there's like a line that's just above the volleyball net that you can't really even see the ceiling. I mean, it was that thick.
It was bad.
I don't understand why it went up. Like, I don't get it.
Me either.
I don't, like, what the...
We used to have MORP too.
Yeah.
Like it was in the commons and it was fine.
The commons is fine. So there's a laser beam in there. And so this is funnier because last year we had one of those little baffles in the gym that has the vent on it, and it got hit with a ball. And so one of the custodians was up there fixing it and blocked the beam with his shoulder. And remember, we had to evacuate the building during lunch.
Yep.
That was the cause of that. So I guess it could be worse. That could have happened, with a building full of people. But
Yeah, good
no.
thing
The only people that you really
there.
got up and going that day was me. So it was awesome because I was able to see you guys in action that day too.
When I heard the alarms going off, thought there was one custodian here, and I thought he was like testing the fire alarms or something, and I just thought it was fine. I was just walking.
Oh my gosh, you didn't think maybe it was the fog machine?
No, I didn't think about that until I walked in the gym, and it was really smoky in there.
It was. It was full.
Yeah, and Willie was so stressed. He's like, oh my gosh. He's like, I'm going to lose my job. I'm like,
No.
it's okay. Like, it's okay, Willie.
That's right.
It was my fault too, so I felt bad, but it was a good experience.
We're
it was
always
funny.
stressing him out. He's fine, and then we get there, and he's like, sweating. Like, sorry. Hey, we help him, too, so it's fine.
No doubt.
Yeah, that was a crazy day.
Do you think it's time?
Oh boy.
We're gonna do
Oh,
a
boy.
spelling bee.
Oh.
Are you good at spelling?
It's you versus Maddie.
So automatically my mind goes to that scene in Billy Madison. Have you used to watch that movie where he goes, I know, let's have a spelling contest. And then he has to spell risotto, or it's a baseball name, and he has to spell it on the board. So.
Yeah.
Don't embarrass me here.
I'm awful at
I picked
spelling,
some
so
hard
Oh,
words.
boy.
no matter what, you're gonna look good. 'Cause
Don't challenge Mrs. Allen to this if you decide to have her on a podcast.
She's
'cause
good at spelling?
the English. She's my spell checker on all the
Really?
I'm like, please make sure that this is right.
I'm really bad at spelling. So this is gonna be fun. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna pick an easy one.
Who's going
first.
first?
None of them are really easy.
No, they're all hard.
You can both
Couch.
do. I have
still
10.
Oh,
Who
boy.
wants to go first?
I'm in.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. Spell leprechaun.
Oh boy. Okay. So I'm gonna be like one of those guys who would spell them on the back of my LEPRECHAUN.
Perfect.
Oh gosh.
Okay, Maddie. Spell amateur.
Can I have it used in a sentence, please?
Probably not. Go ahead.
Country of origin.
Amateur. Okay. A-M. E?
Nope.
Uh,
You already failed.
Do I get 3 tries? I get 3 tries. Okay. A-M. A. T. U-R-E.
You forgot one letter.
A-M-A-T. Amateur. What?
Did we just tell you?
No.
you might want to bail her out on this one here.
It's a vowel
Before or, after the T.
And now,
after the T.
and Y doesn't count anymore.
A. E. E-U-R-E.
Perfect. Good work.
Yeah.
Okay. Spotanski, spell flamboyant.
Okay. FLAMBOUYANT.
Wrong.
Where is he wrong at?
I have an extra vowel in there.
Yep.
No U. FLAMBOYANT.
Perfect.
Doggone it.
Maddie, spell mischievous.
She's giving me the harder one.
I before E.
M-I-S-C-H-E-I-I-E-V-O-U-S.
Perfect.
Nice job. I just told you I before E.
I
know.
said it right before that, and then you messed it up. Let's see. Spotanski, spell maneuver.
MANUVER.
There's a letter. You missed one vowel.
Oh, hold on. MANUV.
There's a letter before the U.
Maneuver?
Yeah.
I don't. MAN.
This is gonna be so embarrassing if I spelled these wrong, but I literally looked them up.
EUVER.
EUVER. There you go.
You're right.
I wouldn't be surprised if you spelled them wrong.
No,
I looked them up yesterday.
That,
so.
I'm one of 3.
Go for
Maddie,
it.
you got torpedoes.
Okay.
Torpedoes.
Torpedoes. I could spell this. T-O-R-P-I. What? Tor. P. Is it E? P-E-D-O-S? Oh my gosh, what? T-O-R-P-E-I? Stupid.
Okay, give me that. It's your turn.
Oh no, I said that I can't do any of them.
Nope, nope.
Well, you wrote them. You've been looking at them.
I know, but I'm still gonna mess up. I can't spell anything. You're gonna give me. Oh gosh.
No, I feel like that one's kind of easy. Spell Fahrenheit.
F-A-R.
Nope.
F-A-I.
No.
Then I have no clue. I give up. F-A-E.
No.
And then I have no clue.
F.
I got F-A.
F-A-H.
Oh, F-A-H. Yeah. I can't.
Ren.
F-A-H-R. I.
No.
Close.
E.
Yeah.
I. I have no clue. Is there not an I in this?
There is. It's at the
There
end.
is.
It's F-A-H-R-E-N-H-E-I-T.
Yeah, I never would have got that.
Yes.
See, this is why I was telling you the spelling words.
Yeah.
I'm even worse at spelling.
Yeah.
This is like, are you smarter than a fifth grader? And
No.
we're all
Listen,
failing here.
We should get that game on the pod.
We should. That was like.
We're trying to add more games, more fun things for the end.
That's awesome. You should talk to the Bulldog Time teachers about all of their trivia questions that they've got. There's like a whole bunch of them that are out there from
We could
each
get
department.
Factor Crap from
Brooke.
Yeah.
You could.
I miss Factor Crap.
Me too.
Are we doing Quiz Bowl this year?
Quiz Bowl?
Yeah.
Have we? I don't think we've done Quiz Bowl.
What do we?
I think it'd be great to do Quiz Bowl.
The Bulldog Times.
Oh, yes, during Bulldog Time.
Yes.
I wish we had a competitive Quiz Bowl team.
Oh.
I think that'd be cool to go take that show on the road.
I would be on that and I would win. So.
It's a team of 5. Like, all you gotta do is have like 5 people that work well together and communicate well, and
Yeah.
math has to be there. You've got to have someone that really understands science. I mean, it's just a lot of different things.
Yeah, count me out on the science bit. I'm so bad at science.
I want to do cornhole tournament.
Oh my
again
gosh,
in
That was
Bulldog
so much fun.
asked-
Time. And my Bulldog Time won.
I asked Sweetbird about that. Okay, well there was one time it was unfair for our Bulldog Time.
Why?
I don't remember, something happened and it wasn't fair and you guys, it was because, no. We were supposed to play.
Oh, and you guys didn't show up, so automatic
No.
loss.
Yeah.
We showed
You got to
up.
be there to win.
No, we showed up and the team that we were playing didn't show up. And so then they just like took both of us
No,
out.
but then you got put back in because then you played us, remember?
No, but this was something different. I don't know, but our team didn't show up. We were automatically out.
You know, it's
Or-
going to be fun.
Okay, so what were the best things that have happened in Bulldog Time? Because we're meeting with that committee next week to talk through some of the pieces with that. What are the things that kids really enjoy doing?
I liked the cornhole, or I really
What
liked
was
the
the
quiz bowl.
Was Quiz Bowl when we did on Kahoot?
Yep.
Yeah. That was fun, and then cornhole was fun. Is that all we did?
Well,
in Bulldog
yeah.
Time last
My
year?
Did
Fresh-
art contests like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Bulldog
Oh,
coloring?
my Bulldog Time didn't do that.
Well, I like we're decorating the doors, aren't we?
That's this week
we're doing
for
that.
homecoming.
And
I wanna do
my
that.
Bulldog Time's gonna do it.
But my Bulldog Time doesn't have any. It's only boys.
yeah, no. Yeah, yours guys. will.
That's why we won cornhole. So
Yeah, exactly. I know. Our freshman year, though, I liked Quiz Bowl that way because I didn't even get to play it last year because this is what happened. Sweetberg was gone the day that we started it.
Oh yeah,
and
and
we
if
had
you
a
didn't
sub.
do
We
it.
had a sub, and she didn't know that we were doing it, and so we couldn't go, and then we were
Ah.
automatically out. Yeah, but freshman year, I liked it how we did it that year. We would just have questions and raise our hand. It was way more competitive. It was like whoever could raise their hand first, or whoever could shout it out first. That was my favorite. Was freshman year Quiz Bowl. Is that what we called it? Quiz Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
right. I felt like I was calling it something stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I think all the teachers last year were like, we got to do Quiz Bowl. We got to
Yes.
do Quiz Bowl. So
It's so much fun.
It was fun. I actually do enjoy doing stuff like that because I feel like sometimes Bulldog Time gets repetitive,
Yeah.
but throwing those games in there
It makes
it's
it fun.
Yeah.
So, at the beginning of the day, we've got obviously our advisory time, and that's the time of the day. It seems like a lot of kids are kind of dragging in late, doing that sort of stuff. What are the things that are going to draw them into that so they find meaning and purpose in that beginning of the day? Is it just the activities and games like this, or?
I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things it is going to be for people. Because, I mean, it's the beginning of the morning. We're all tired. But things like that, like...
Well, and that gets a
Energize you.
fun
Yeah.
start to the day.
It always made my day better. 'Cause
We should have a dodgeball tournament.
We should.
Okay, so what about something like dodgeball or pickleball or things like that we could?
Ball.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have an addiction.
Well, I talked to Mr. Hall yesterday. He said it's been great because retirement allows him to go play pickleball from like 9:30 to noon.
I see him there a lot, so
Yeah. He was...
pickleball would be so fun.
No,
There's
yeah.
actually a lot of kids who have gotten into pickleball recently.
Everybody plays pickleball now.
So we need to have a pickleball
Yeah.
kind
No,
of
yes,
contest
yes.
through Bulldog Time.
Bulldog pickleball tournament.
We've got all the equipment.
That's not even fair.
So it's like pool. Will people bring their own paddles and
Oh,
such
I
too?
will.
Yeah. We'll bring community paddles.
Oh, wow.
Everybody can use them.
We can people can borrow some.
We're big pickleballers.
Yeah.
I wish we had a team.
Me too.
A high school competitive
I wanna
pickleball.
start-
It probably will happen soon.
No,
I
it
hope
definitely
so.
will.
I will be.
It's
on
catching
that.
on. I mean, there's probably just as many people playing that right now as there is people that are out, doing sports like golf or, whatever. I mean, it's just there's a lot of interest in it right now.
I know that
Definitely is.
McCook has a pickleball team because
Yeah.
they're always at the tournaments. They bring down a bunch of kids that play in it,
Yeah.
and they play
Awesome.
with all the adults.
They're
and
really
stuff.
good.
Yeah.
So we need to get on that so we can beat them because we're better.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh yeah, I love pickleball. It's really big now, and the courts I'm so excited for the courts at.
Yeah, the new ones.
Yeah, Cody?
Yeah.
I drive through there like once every couple of weeks just to see the progress on it. What
They're-
about the progress on the rec center too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane. I did not know that was even happening until I found out about the pickleball courts.
I know. I keep driving by and there's something else that they're doing there. I'm excited. I feel like we're having a lot of new things
North
like
Platte
that
getting
coming.
a lot of new
Yes,
development.
I love it.
North Platte is certainly changing, and it's for the better. There's no doubt about it. It's a great place to live. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
That's actually might be the best thing we've ever gotten.
The one place that we can get that would make me stay in North Platte.
Target?
Texas
Oh.
Roadhouse.
Texas.
I need Texas
Speaking
Roadhouse.
of this, oh my gosh, this is a weird story, but I saw a TikTok the other day that Walmart has Texas Roadhouse rolls and butter, and I went and bought it that same day.
Seriously?
And I haven't tried them yet.
Okay, well, we need to
So
try
I'll
it.
give
So,
you-
so TikTok is opening everyone's eyes to the possibilities, isn't
Yeah.
it? So I asked my wife when she makes dinner or whatnot, like, "Hey, that's a good recipe. Where'd you get that?" She goes, "TikTok." It's just
Honestly.
everything that we've been eating. She goes, "Everything we've been eating lately is coming off of a TikTok recipe."
My mom will have me go look up TikTok recipes when we're making the same recipes over and over again, and I'll go find them and send them to her because
TikTok is amazing.
Yes, I
it's
love
like
TikTok.
It's like Google, but has so much more stuff.
So you're saying I need to get a TikTok account?
no, yes,
Please.
I love TikTok.
I-
So I had one for a little short period of time, and I was like, I am finding myself scrolling through this more than I am talking to anyone. So I honestly I just unloaded it off my phone. So
yeah, that's
That's a
is the hard
problem.
thing. I honestly,
it's real, isn't it?
Yeah, I honestly haven't. I'm not on TikTok as much as I used to be.
Yeah,
I think I've.
but like we use TikTok to get ideas for our hype videos and
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Right on.
it's a good resource for us. We actually do use it a lot.
yeah, for pretty much anything that I need to
Okay,
look up.
here's another question. What about AI?
I don't really use AI.
I have never used AI.
I used AI
Ever?
one time on a job application.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much that you can use AI for that it allows you to, it's like a banter back and forth with someone. There's ideas out there. It's kind of like Google, but
Yeah.
maybe on steroids or better.
Yeah, I've only used it on a job application, but it's like weird. I don't know. Like when I tried to use it for the job application, it like gave me words I've never even heard of. So I was like, okay, probably not those
Yeah, then
words.
they're gonna think you're super sophisticated and
Well, good thing it didn't ask me to spell maneuver.
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I struck out on that one.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I don't know. I haven't used AI like at all. I've had little apps like reword my things, but I haven't. I don't know. I haven't been.
Yeah.
We have like this Snapchat AI. I never used that. That thing is so stupid.
Yeah.
I've been fiddling around with it a little bit, and I think there's some really neat things
Yeah.
that can happen with it. A lot of people are just scared about things like that
Yeah.
because they don't really know
What
it does.
Yeah.
It's probably very similar to like TikTok or whatever for us old folks. But once you learn how to balance things out a little bit and how to use it, there's a lot of really cool outcomes that you can get with it.
Yeah.
So
Well, Willie uses AI a lot. Like he has a voice generator
yeah.
AI that like gives him cool voices, and then he like uses it for like pictures that go on the board, like the one of the Bulldog over the football field. That
Yeah,
one's
that's
from AI.
AI generated.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
really
mean-
wants to use his AI generated voice for something. He wanted to do it for the football.
what does
video.
it sound like?
It's like
You can do it in. Well, okay. One time
Try to intimidate. Try to mimic it.
you got it.
it's like a. Have me say something. What should I say?
Say, and now from Bulldog Nation.
And now from Bulldog Nation. That's how
You just sound like Willie when you said that.
Well, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like Willie, but not so.
It's in a game show manner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that you can like click different ones.
Yeah,
too.
you can.
But the first time he tried to do it, he actually put it in Spanish, and it was really funny.
Yeah. And then there was this one time that it just like glitched out and just started speaking gibberish. It was, that was scary. But yeah, he really wants to use it on something.
I can't wait to hear it.
I know we need to give him something to use.
We need to have more. I like find more things. We could use it on the kids club video.
could
We have
do
a
it.
lot of new projects we're working
But what?
on.
Okay, so think about something like this here. Who can come up with the best like video at a Bulldog time with AI generated voices?
my
That'd be
gosh.
kind of a cool
That
contest.
would be cool.
Yeah, we should do more contests and stuff like that.
And that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah,
That would be cool. Yes, definitely.
definitely. One of the questions that Willie wanted us to ask you is your favorite hobby. He's very interested in this one.
Yeah.
Who is?
Willie.
Oh,
He wants to know what your favorite thing to do is outside of
Oh.
school.
really, I spend a lot of time with my wife and kids. I mean, that's really what we do. I'm a poor golfer, but I'd say if I like to do something on the side. It's, I've got, so I went out to Indian Meadows and I want to go out to Lake Maloney, but I figured I'm going to start on a straight course. I haven't golfed in a while. I started with 30 golf balls on Nebraska Land Day Sunday, and I came home with 7.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, so, I mean, I enjoy golfing. I'm not very good at it, and it doesn't make me mad that I'm bad at it. So that's kind of a cool hobby, but it used to be fishing. Man, I fished a lot as a kid. We grew up, our farm was just close to a Sherman Reservoir, so I'd go fishing for crappie all the time and that sort of thing. But I guess now it's, just we hang out at the house an awful lot. We have a pool in the backyard that we, worked on together as a family, and so we do that sort of thing. But we don't camp. We don't, travel a great deal. But like this last year, we went to Branson. As we're getting older, it's probably going to be just taking our parents on trips and doing things like that, kind of helping them enjoy things and spending time together. But I enjoy grilling. I enjoy steak grilling in particular. Like I haven't had a steak at the Chop House yet or the North 40, but I heard that they're amazing. But I really think that cooking at home and making a steak is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of a boring person in that regard. I don't have any like I'm not into. My wife and I took dance lessons one time.
Oh, really?
That was kind of fun. So for our anniversary a couple of years ago, when we went over to Lexington to the YMCA, and we did this whole triple step thing, like triple step back.
Do you still know how to do it?
In the kitchen we'll do it every once in a while if a good song comes on. But yeah, I mean, I'm just fortunate to have a really cool wife that she's kind of the outgoing one, believe it or not. Like when I'm at school, you probably feel like, hey, this guy's really out. I'm really an introvert. Like it's kind of, I've had to teach myself to become more extroverted that way. But she's the one that really is the vibrant, outgoing one in our relationship. So, but yeah, I mean, spending time together and, traveling to see our daughter in Denver. I got a son in Colorado or in Kearney. So yeah, we just spend time, trying to go visit with them and spend time as much as we can around that. And that's kind of what we do.
How old are all your kids?
So Aaliyah is our oldest. She is 24, and she finished her radiography degree from UNMC, and so she's working in Aurora, Colorado, as a radiographer. And Brady is a third-year student at Kearney. He's going to turn 21 this January, so he's 20 now, and he's studying pre-pharmacy through Kearney, and then Nyla's in 8th grade, so she's going to turn 14 this year. Don't tell anyone this, but she doesn't have her driver's license yet, but I've let her drive.
I wish my parents let me.
I think this is like the most common thing, like especially in Nebraska. Like everyone drives before, except for Maddie.
Not me though.
So it was Tuesday night. Nyla's like, "Hey, I'm kind of bored, Dad. Let's go for a drive." I'm like, a ride, you mean? And she goes, "No, I like to go for a drive." I'm like, "Nah, it's dark, But so the other day we were heading out towards Lake Maloney, and I said, "All right, I'm gonna let you drive back into town." So she goes to adjust the mirror, and it falls off. But I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna roll with it." And she's driven back home a few times, but yeah, she drove all the way from Lake Maloney, took a left, went down Phillip Street, parked it in our driveway. I was like, this is awesome.
I would have been so scared.
I was
She
a bad driver when I first started driving. And then I drove with my parents like 2 times, and then they let me start driving by myself. And it was really, I don't know why, because I was an awful driver. But I think that's how I learned how to be a good driver, was driving by myself.
Well, I mean, I don't try to break the law a ton, right? But yeah. I feel like, if you're going to send your kiddo out into, in a vehicle, that you got to practice some of those things that, as early as possible. So she's had an opportunity to drive, probably like you guys have, on different golf carts or different things like that. And that's where you can learn to do those sorts of things. But you got to have some confidence too of being able to just get behind the wheel and do it. So she'll hopefully get her permit here in the next couple of months, and then we'll be able to do it legally.
I really didn't practice that much before I got my permit or anything. I just went straight into it. It was kind of scary.
Oh, I never drove before I got my permit. I'd never drove.
I had a little bit, but my permit year, I never drove
at all.
Like I did every once in a while, but I don't know.
You look so forward to getting it, and then all of a sudden.
But then I don't know.
And it's like every time I was going anywhere, I was going somewhere with like my mom and all my younger siblings, and she didn't want me to drive with them in the car.
My wife's the same way. She's like, I can't be in the car if you're going to do that. And I'm like, she's really good. Like she is. Like I wouldn't do it if I felt like she was in a wreck. I wouldn't do this. But
Yeah, my mom was like that when she drove with me too. She was like, "Turn here, Maddie." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm aware." Those top lights red. Yep, I do see that. Gosh, she was annoying when I first started driving. But I'm a fantastic driver, so
how many accidents?
0.
Well done.
No.
Okay. Not my
Calling that card on her, aren't you?
not
Yeah.
my fault.
This is very much your fault.
No, listen, not my fault. We went to my friend's house. I parked behind a car. When I got out of the car, I made a mental note. Nobody was behind me. So because I was driving, we were going to drive to Hershey for a dance. And I made a mental note that nobody was behind me, so I knew that I could back up. And then one of our other friends had showed up later when it was already dark, and she parked behind me, and I, like, when we were in a hurry, ran out to my car. I was like, nobody's behind me, I know that.
And whammo.
My mom doesn't know about this.
She's going to see this on the podcast.
Mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry. No marks to me or my friend's car. I also did back into a trash can, but just one of the little plastic ones, so no damage to my car. But I also have never gotten pulled over, so.
I may be the worst driving driver's ed teacher ever. So I have, and we've done great things. I think a lot of kids have learned. I've taught a lot of kids how to learn how to drive, but I think I've been the worst driver that is a driver's ed teacher. I mean, I've done what you just talked about there twice. Yeah, we had some friends over one night, and I had to go pick up Aaliyah from a school event. So and they'd parked in the driveway behind the garage door, and I opened it up and right into them. This is even worse. So my son was parked behind me in Elm Creek, and I got called to do something at the school, and again, same thing. I was like, no one's behind me. Well, his car was little, and my truck was big, and I just walked around, and my mind was already thinking about what I needed to do at school, right into him. So I get it.
So it happens, Reagan.
I've hit
it does.
a mailbox, and that was it. And I was in my brother's big truck. But to be fair, the backup camera didn't beep at me, and it was right in the camera. And I hit it.
You guys are pulling out a lot of dirty little secrets from me today.
It's fine. Everyone already knows that I hit a mailbox, but
And got pulled over, so.
I've been pulled over a few times, too.
One of them was pretty much my fault.
It was your fault that she was pulled over?
The first time I got pulled over, we were together.
I got in her car, and there was a Starbucks cup in her car. And she was like, "Oh yeah, just throw it out the window."
It was spilling. It was spilling everywhere. To be fair,
Throw it out the window, guys. Save the
Okay.
planet.
Listen, yeah, there was a cup behind
We
us.
learned from our lesson after this one.
We went and
but
picked it up, and we threw it away. I haven't thrown a cup out the window since.
So is that what the police officer had you do?
Yeah, she.
All right, we're not going to give you a citation.
No, yeah,
but I was
But go pick
really
that cup
scared.
yeah, I was scared too. She asked for my permit and everything.
Well, here's the thing. My license plates had expired
Oh my
a
gosh,
month
yes.
prior to, so I thought that's why I was getting pulled over.
Yeah, so she's like, "Let me guess, it's my plates." And she's like, "No, you just threw a cup out the window."
But now that you mention it,
yeah, no.
No, she was very nice to us, but it was really scary, and that
Yeah.
was my first time getting pulled over.
Yeah, and then she was like, "No, I'm just gonna have you go and pick up the cup. I get it. I was a teenager too." And I was like, "Yeah, sorry."
that's
She's like,
hilarious.
"Just next time, make sure there's not a cop right behind you." And I was like, "I don't."
Yeah,
That was
but
rough.
we don't litter anymore. That
No,
was,
yeah,
that was a bad
I
mistake.
Like, genuinely
Good call.
don't think
Good
I've
call.
thrown a cup out the window since because
It's just
Traumatic
it was
now.
trauma.
it was so scary.
Nothing like seeing those lights go off behind
Yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were also with our other friend when she got pulled over for not having her lights on. So it's just kind of a thing now. Everybody's always with each other when they're getting pulled over. Oh, that was a fun night.
That is hilarious.
Yes. All right. Well,
Thank you so much for joining us today and coming on our podcast.
I think it's been awesome. I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys
Yeah.
inviting me. I think that what you guys are doing with this program and the way you're raising the bar every year is just going to be awesome to see how this thing transforms over the years. But you guys are at the ground level, and all of this that you have access to, you're doing a great job with it. So
thank you.
thank you for
Thanks so
letting me
much.
be a part of it.
Yep. All right. That's our episode.
Thank you.
Are we good?